Hey everybody. Okay, wait, let me get Helen on. We're already live, Helen, so I'm just letting you know. Hi Helen, how are
There she
you?
is.
Late as usual. I'm sorry.
You're not late, you're fine. We're waiting for Andrea. She was having issues with her camera. So she might meet us a little bit later, but we're live now and I'm kind of excited that you're here. This is so much fun. Oh wait, I have to put the chat up. Oh, if I put the chat up though, Rick, then I can't do the video?
No, it's up. We can see it.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I'm
how
fine.
it's gonna. I'm not sure how it's gonna arrange itself. We'll figure it out. If we have to turn it off, we'll turn it off later. But
Okay.
this is
Oh,
The
nobody's
chat's
there at
good
the
at the moment.
moment. Is that what we're saying? So the chat's up there right now, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh, there's
Oh,
Jeeves.
hi
Hi,
Jeeves. How you
Jeeves.
doing? We're just gonna
Carmen.
give
Carmen
Andrea a
should
little
be
more.
the. Carmen should
What?
be in the. Carmen should be
Yeah,
in the big section because this is
you
her
should.
show.
Yeah, you should swap you two over. That's it.
Hey, see, she's such an expert.
I I don't really care about. I would rather that we all have the same. I don't like
Well,
the hey
fiddle with the
Tony.
layout then. There's little buttons at the bottom. Just fiddle with them and see which one you
Hey,
prefer.
Tony. Now Helen's
Yeah,
on the big spotlight. Okay, there
There
you
we
go.
go.
I like that better. I
S-
don't like the whole whatever. So I do want to play a video before we start. Wow, this changed everything.
Oh, thanks,
Um
Jeeves.
yeah, I'm sorry everyone. We're just starting this whole live streaming thing. And again, I
Yes.
am kind of a newbie with the live streaming, but I'm not. I'm actually really good at it. So, but
You're very
we're just.
modest too.
I am also very modest. We're actually waiting for one more person. She was having issues with her video. So while we're waiting for Andrea to show up, Rick, why don't you tell everyone who you are, where they can find you, and then we'll do an introduction with Helen. And maybe by then we'll get Andrea on. Although I have a feeling she just texted me to say she's having issues. So,
oh,
but
oh
go
well.
ahead, Rick. Go ahead as I check out what she's saying.
So yeah, rickcosta.com. She put the link right there. You can find my info there, my links there, and all that stuff. So basically, my claim to fame, there's Andrea, is I've been broadcasting every single day for over 7 years. When I say every single day, I mean every single day. Didn't matter if I was sick as a dog. I didn't take vacations. Deaths in the family. I still broadcast every single day. That's my claim to fame, I guess. But yeah, I do like a religious kind of broadcast for Christians. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. You can figure out the rest from my website, rickcosta.com.
And you can see it down there, rickcosta.com. So check him out, follow him as well. We're going to say hi to Andrea really, really quick, but we're going to go to Helen first. Hi, Andrea. We're glad you're here. Helen, why don't you give us your spiel?
I'm rubbish at this. My name's Helen, and I do stuff on
I
on
do
the internet.
stuff.
No, I funnily enough, my radio show just went out a couple of hours ago, so that's my main thing that I tend to do. Is Helen's Mixtape once a week. It's a 2-hour specialist music show. It goes out on 365 Radio each week, and it's mostly sort of based around synthie electronica, and that just went out. And we do jukebox jury once a month, where we listen to other people's music, new submissions, people who want to have their music played on radio, and basically tell them whether we think it's a bit pants or not.
You're so
that's,
funny.
that's it.
Um, I also have your live streaming, I mean, your thing streaming down there, Radio Leggy, your bio link, so people
That's
can
got
find you there.
everything
And
on. That's
also,
everything on there. That's even got my actual proper job stuff on there as well, my photography and all that.
actually, I found everything of, and I added you on my YouTube. I don't know how we weren't on YouTube together and stuff. So, Andrea, because I didn't get to talk to you beforehand in the green room, I didn't know if you wanted me to promote your company.
No, that's fine.
No? Are you serious?
I
I
mean,
have it on here.
oh, do you? Okay, sure. You can put my. I mean, I'm just here to hang out, but yeah, I run a company called the Genesis Group. We do business consulting with primarily with small businesses, but
Andrea, for
it's
some reason, your sound is really bad. Do you guys have it a little bit hard to hear her?
She sounds like she's underwater.
Yeah.
oh, do I?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a
it's
little wonky.
my. It might be my
Do you have on a
heat. Hold on a
headset?
sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Bluetooth
You're
maybe?
using like a
Hold.
Bluetooth or something?
Yeah. cold
It's
sleep.
okay. We can hear you. It's just not as usual when you and I talk on Zoom or whatever. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Can you guys hear her?
Okay.
Say something.
Hi. How's it going?
Hey, that sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's much better. Much better.
Okay. Okay. Couple things. I see people saying hello in the chat, and I don't know how to do the chat. And it's a lot. It's kind of busy, so I'm sorry. But hello to all of you. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's late in the day.
Wait, I just missed everything you just said. So you got to say it again because I got to edit it into the podcast. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just saying hello to the people in the chat because I don't know how
You don't have to respond to them on the chat. We're just going to respond to them vocally.
Okay, got it. So yes, I was saying my company is the Genesis Group, and we do management consulting, leadership development, things like that. So I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with people, just helping them hopefully run their companies a little bit better, deal with their people a little bit better, deal with their lives a little bit better. That's my story.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're having a little bit more of a structured type of show. So I'm going to play a video, just a quick. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of this person. Some of you here probably hate him. I don't care. We're going to start off talking a little bit about business, and I saw this today. So bear with me because it's the first time I'm doing video on my show. So it should work. Oh no, Rick, tell me who I have to move over or whatever. Wait.
It'll do it automatically when you share the screen.
Yeah, but also if you want, while we're playing the video, you could turn all of us off so it's full screen for everybody if you want to.
Look at me, I'm like,
You know what I mean
I don't
by
know
that?
what that means. Oh, you mean click everybody off?
Yeah, and then when it's done, just bring us all back.
Okay.
If you want
It'll
to.
automatically slide us all over, I think, to the side unless you tell it to put us along the bottom. It'll slide us all out of the way anyway.
Okay, everyone, we're testing this out. I'm just going to play with it for a second. 1 second.
Count and are as miserable and as lonely and as broken as you'll ever see.
All right,
I have friends who make 47.
So should it be that small or should I click you all off?
Click us all off.
Okay.
$7,000 a year and are the happiest. I have friends who make $47,000 a year and are the happiest people I know. Their work-life balance is on point. They're part of 2 soccer teams. They play video games. They watch every show they want. They take 2 vacations that they scrap together, and they're freaking happy as hell. And I know tons of people who have hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account and are as miserable and as lonely and as broken as you'll ever see. 7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It is not to make $1 billion. It is to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood.
Okay, let me bring back everyone.
I agree.
Okay, so we're first going to talk a little bit about business. And my first question to everyone in the room, and we can start with Helen, is what was the best job you ever had? Thinking about what Gary Vee was just talking about,
My
right?
current one. I have the best job in the world.
Oh, right now?
Right now. And I have had since I started my own business 16 years ago.
Wow. Okay, you're no fun. How are we gonna be mean to people if you're gonna be like, I have the best job right now?
No, I really do. I really do. I came from working for the man and had, I was doing a little part-time. I don't know if you want this whole big long backstory, but I was doing photography part-time for a musician that I was a fan of. Their tour manager had contacted me, said they wanted to use that work on their gig archive. That grew into my name being put out there, working with other musicians, and then a conversation when I was pregnant and due to go back to my proper job on maternity leave. A conversation with that first musician friend said to me, you are good enough to do this full-time if you want to do it full-time. And if he hadn't had that conversation with me, I wouldn't have started my own business.
Wow.
So, it just takes
cool.
that one person to have a little bit of faith in. I absolutely have the best job in the world. You're working with people when they're at their happiest, right? Whether it's wedding photography, nobody ever hires a photographer for a funeral, right? You're always working, whether it's, do you know what I mean? Whether that's, capturing something live on stage, whether it's musicians or comedians or whatever, just, capturing someone riding away the, laughter in the room, or whether it's photographing someone's wedding, you're always working with people at their happiest. It's an amazing job. Love it.
Okay,
Love
and you
it.
do what you love, and you're around happy people. Boring. No, I'm just kidding. I'm jealous.
The offset of that is that it isn't the best paying job in the world, and again,
That's what he's
I had
talking about.
absolutely, you have to balance that. And there was a time where I had my own studio and I was working all the hours God sends and really running myself, ragged. And there came a point where I'm like, divorce and separation, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, I will work the bare minimum that I have to be comfortable. And that's what I do. I work the bare minimum that's required to be comfortable because I'm happier. I don't need to have lots of money in the bank. I've got a roof over my head, I've got food in my belly, my kids are looked after.
That's all you need. Go ahead, Andrea. I can feel it. I can feel it.
The best job I ever had? Is that the question?
Yeah. Or the worst job. Or the worst job. But let's start with the best job.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about my best job. The best job I ever had was in my early 20s. I worked at a record store.
I thought you were going to say the best job you had was when I hired you.
Wow.
We both know that was not the best.
I know, but that's how we met. That's how we
It was
met.
a great company, the days that you worked, but not so great company on your days off. Yeah, no, it was, like I said, it was my early 20s. I worked at a record store. I mean, what's better than a record store? And this was back when there were records. Like, it was right at the transition out of LPs into CDs. And I just worked with a really great group of people. We were kind of roughly the same age, a little bit older. But I loved music already, and I had a pretty good breadth of things that I listened to, but there were so many of us from so many, we were all so different that it taught me how to listen to and appreciate music in a different way. And we just had so much fun together, and we had a great, great boss. I was thinking about this today when I was thinking about talking to you, and, I think about it now, like he was probably 25, 27. You know what I mean? And he was like our older boss and everything. And
funny.
I don't know if, I imagine he must have had some strategy about how he wanted to keep the team cohesive, but he was just a good guy, and he was really good about supporting people. He was really good about giving you negative feedback, the way that he did it. We all wanted to do well for him. I mean, it was a record store, right? We were having a good time, but we also wanted him to feel good about our work. And that was a really amazing thing that he created. And I'm still friends with, a handful of those people today. So that was a few years ago.
I was just going to be like, you don't need to age yourself, right? Rick, your favorite best job?
So my first job ever was McDonald's, and it was in a way both the best and the worst. The worst because the public treats you like total crap so much of the time, and I had to learn how to deal with that. But the good part of it was the hard part of it, because I was just like a snot-nosed brat who, let's just say that job humbled me quick, real big time. Right. But I learned so much from there, learned, management skills. They eventually got up to manager stuff and all that. But I just learned so much how to deal with people, and even with the different managers, because it seemed like every year was a new manager. So many different managers with managing styles. My favorite one, his name was also Rick. Best boss ever.
Was
best
it
boss
though?
Yes. It was not Julio. It was Rick. But anyway, but yeah. So he would okay, next hour, whoever makes the most money, you get free lunch today. oh, okay, cool, whatever. Like he'd do stuff like that. And he was always very encouraging, very upbeat. And he's like, you wanted to please him because he was so
Right.
cool and he was upbeat and he was like, positive. But then we also had managers who were like, and just like, on your neck, man. It's like just horrible. And I'm like, the best time was when we had the good boss that treated us well and made us feel good about ourselves and really pushed us. Like he didn't tolerate no laziness, but he pushed us, but also made sure we had a good time. And I just learned so much from that, my first job. Then the next job I had was at because I'm the God guy, Christian bookstore. And I was like, okay, now we get into the Christian bookstore. Okay, now it's going to be heaven. It's going to be nice. It's all nicey Christian people. Oh, no,
Mm.
no, no,
No,
no,
Christian people the worst.
no. Well, I don't know if they're the worst, but they
The
bad.
least
And
like Jesus. Okay.
and yeah, there was a lot of. I'll never forget this one store talking about a kook. This lady comes in, she's like, "Hi, how are you?" I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? You need any help? Let me know." She goes, "Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, I have my angel right here. This one, he's about 7 feet tall, and on this side, the other angel, he's like 8 feet tall. I think she named him and everything." And I was like, "Okay, well, you just let me know if you need help, and I'll be here." Okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah, but I'd have so many different jobs, so much experience. I've seen so many people work in different ways. I worked at GE temporarily. I worked so many different managers and different styles. And it's like, I feel like if I had to do my own business, like I have enough that I could do it good and do it pretty good
Right.
just with all these mishmashed of styles and stuff. But yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a favorite job. I think the only favorite job I had was the one that I never got paid for, really. I was a kid dancing. And I think doing what you love is, I mean, that's the whole point of what he's talking about. And I think Andrea's come to my theater productions and God love her. But, like being on stage and doing all of that stuff was probably, that's what I love. You know what I mean? Like that's what and the idea of getting paid for that is just would be ridiculous. But I feel bad. I haven't said hi to anyone in the chat, and I'm so sorry. I
I was
was
just
trying to
about to
get.
suggest that because
I
no,
know. I
you
feel
haven't
bad. I
acknowledged
didn't mean
anyone.
to. You know what? I didn't. I couldn't see it until I just realized I had It doesn't matter. I had a different button on over here because I was so worried about the graphics and whatever. So I want to apologize. You guys can say hi to people too.
Didn't want to interject, but I know there are a few people that have come through on my Twitch. Hello, people. I see a few
Hi. Yeah.
faces.
No. Absolutely.
Hello. Hi.
Andrea, you may not know, but we're live streaming everywhere. So, I mean, I know you
It
don't
means
care.
nothing to
Andrea
me.
doesn't do
So
social media, people. So she's over
hi,
social media.
internet
Sometimes it should be
world.
called anti-social media. I don't blame you.
Right?
Hmm.
Um, the other thing I was thinking about was kind of just because the work that I do right now is kind of in line with a little bit of what Andrea does. I do a lot of consulting work, and last week I was talking about just toxicity, and that's kind of what I was. Some of the people that I'm working with right now are just so in it. They've been in it for so long that they can't even think of a different way to work. So my next question was really about what is one of the worst things a manager or a supervisor has done, and how could they have changed that dynamic differently, if at all possible? For example, this past week, a manager decided to walk into an argument, and instead of elevating the situation and fixing the problem with the power you have as a manager, she totally turned around and made it worse by screaming, by saying nobody asked her to come in and deal with anything. She heard the commotion and came in. And I kept thinking to myself, like, if you are someone who is an executive, you're in a management position. Hi, Melanie. You should be able to understand your role in that type of situation. And I am shocked by how many people are managers or supervisors and really should not be. So whoever wants to take that. Okay. Helen. Come on, guys.
All right then. Throw the newbie in first. That's fine.
The newbie.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time I've been on your thing.
Well, we got to get a flow going. Like, it's
Okay.
not class. I'm not going to call on
Okay.
people.
I remember having a boss, a department manager, who never dealt with any customer complaints, and it was always passed to me. And I wasn't paid to deal with customer complaints. I was a sales advisor working off a commission as well.
Wow.
And I was better at dealing with issues that customers had than this idiot was, right? So that was fine. I didn't begrudge doing the work and sorting the customer complaints. The issue came when I was hauled into the manager's office with him and his underling, another manager, and told that I wasn't earning as much commission as any of the other sales advisors, and there'd been complaints from the other sales advisors that I wasn't on the shop floor as often, right? And why was I not earning as much commission as anybody else? And I said, because I'm doing your job. And I'm not paid to do your job. So if you want to give me your wage,
Right.
I never heard anything else ever again, because you knew fine well that I was doing his work, and you're dealing with irate customers who have spent thousands and thousands of pounds on things like kitchens or conservatories or big, ticket
Big
items,
items, right?
right? Who are irate over something going wrong, and I was doing his job and earning less than I should have been because I wasn't earning my commission that I should have been.
Right.
Yeah, no, he was a terrible manager. Just that's what not to do.
Did you end up quitting because of that?
I ended up leaving that job eventually, but I was never brought into the office for anything ever again, because I put him in his place, and the people who were dealing with the back end as well, the kind of administration people, actually had said whenever Helen takes an order for anything, there's never any mistakes. There's never any
that
mistakes.
makes it worse. That actually makes it worse because they get upset. They get jealous.
Right. Whereas the other, a lot of the stuff I was picking up that were mistakes that were made because the things weren't put through in the first place properly. There's things missing, or, it was other people's shit that I was dealing with.
Right.
Right. And I was taking the flack for it. That was a terrible it wasn't the job was bad. It was the people managing the department were just awful.
Right. I need to say hi to Kevin. Hi, Kevin. And who is Donald? Is that Milton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that Milton? Hi, Milton.
Hi, Milton.
Who that was.
Yeah, I'm like, who is Donald Newman?
Who is this person who's a Leggy Lacy fan?
Hey, Pascal. Do I know Pascal? Hi, Pascal. Creative director was the all-time best job I can imagine. Yeah, Rick, were you going to chime in?
Well, I was going to say, in case anybody came late and they're wondering, oh, this lady has a very interesting accent. Where is she from? I don't know if Helen wants to.
Seriously? You think people are coming in and being like, oh my good Lord, I've never heard that Martian accent before. What's with you? Like,
it sounds a little bit like Shrek, but just not quite.
Oh my God.
Rick is all worried that people in the chat do not understand Helen. I
think most people in the chat know me and have probably known me for quite a while and can understand everything.
Rick, I just asked Rick earlier today. I'm like, would you help me like produce my show? And now I'm like, all dissing him. No, you're right. Okay, everyone. Rick, would you like to tell everyone where Helen is from?
She's from Scotland. No, I'm not going to try to do accents. I'm not allowed to do accents.
Hang on, but which city? Which part?
Do you really want people to know all that?
It's a city. No, it's not like they're going to find her.
No, I want to know if you're going to pronounce it wrong so I can slag you off.
Or if he even knows.
What's the name of the city, Rick?
Edinburgh?
Oh, that's pretty close. Edinburgh. Yeah, because Americans always say Edinburgh or Edinburgh. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
No, we're all high class over here. We're all high class. So what is happening? Okay. Andrea, go ahead, girl.
Worst thing a boss ever did to me, right? Is that the question?
Yeah, you don't have to follow, whatever. I didn't mean to make this so structured.
Well, you remember this, Carmen. I had my last job that I had been asking for promotion for several years, which now, thank God, praise Jesus, I did not get.
Oh my God, I remember this.
But anyway, so my boss had promised me, he's like, the next, time this role comes up, it's yours for sure. I remember having that face-to-face conversation, and he's like, I know you can do it, and blah, blah, blah. And they ended up promoting one of my peers, who had been at the company, not as long as I was. But before they told her They
Yep.
called me into the office to make sure that I would be cool. Right? They're like, we just want you to know that we're promoting her. We want to make sure you're okay.
I remember the text message. But didn't you end up training her?
I did end up training her. She ended up she ended up sitting like right in front of me. Literally,
Right.
I looked at her every day, like before she was kind of down the hall or whatever. And she was lovely. She was lovely. And I said, I'm not going to be, rude or mean to her in any way. It's you guys that are the problem.
Right.
You specifically, this particular manager. And then, I don't know if you remember this part, Carmen. They didn't really give her a whole lot of support. Like I trained her in the things that I knew, but there were other aspects of the job that she needed other training on that she never really got. So they demoted her.
Oh, wait, didn't you leave by then though?
No, I left right after that.
Oh my God. I remember that time. I remember that time
after that, but it just was emblematic to me. Like one of the reasons she got promoted is because her actual sort of direct manager that she reported to advocated for her, to get the promotion. Didn't really advocate for the support that she needed to really like follow through and be successful at it, but she really did advocate for her. And my boss, who was sort of the big boss of the whole office, did not, he just.
Okay, can I just say that he was an ass? I hated him.
We all hated him, and still do. But if it didn't benefit him directly in some way, he wasn't going to advocate for it. And then just the way that it was handled all the way around, from like talking to me about it first, I'm sure they thought that was like, oh, we're going to keep everything really smooth. And I just thought, that you're not doing the right thing because you're coming to me first. Like, why are you coming to me to smooth this all over for you? And then I just, it just rubbed me. I mean, that was one of the sort of, there were a lot of reasons why I wanted to leave, but when they demoted her, I was like, I cannot believe this company and these people at this office. Like, this is insane.
But you were also way overqualified for what you were doing. And that was kind of one of the interesting parts of your story that I kind of talk about sometimes when I do some speaking events. It's like, if you as a supervisor or a manager don't notice the talent in front of you, how can you possibly think that that person's going to stay happy when you can't even acknowledge or see that somebody has so much talent and skill and is deserving of a next step? And I always talk about like how you were resenting that job for like the longest time.
Oh yeah, I hated that job. Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible, but it was just, and it taught me so much that I use in my work today about, what not to do and how to spot, oh, that's, bad management. You need to have direct conversations and all of those kinds of things. So, it all works out, but you are absolutely right. Like I was a total jerk.
I'm going to skip on to our next subject because we're at the halfway mark, and I am going to try to get us through for 1 hour. And I know you're going to have much more fun. Guys, I didn't mean to make this like I have to ask you a question. Like we can just have a conversation. So I'm sorry. I was worried that we're overlapping, but I don't want to lose the whole joy. Like I don't want to lose the fun of hanging out in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So we're just going to get to some lifestyle culture questions. And then I have some kind of rapid fire questions. What is Kevin asking? Let me read some of the chat things. Working for someone else is easy at first, but gets harder. Working for yourself is hard at first, but gets easier. Look at Kevin with the philosophical mic drop.
Perspective. That's true. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah. Tweet that.
I'll let you know when working for myself gets better. See, here's my problem. I work for myself. I have my own business, but I have clients. So even though I work for myself, I still have to deal with other people. Yeah, but I just hate what I do. So yeah. And they're all on LinkedIn. I don't care. That's how I know I'm done. Because I'm not hiding it anymore. I don't care. I'm like, oh my God, the drama, Wait, Rick, did you want to say I didn't mean to cut you off on chiming in on that, but.
Oh, no, I was going to say, what Andrea said triggered memories with me at 2 different jobs. They said, you have the job, and then later called me back and said they took it back. now you don't have the job. I was like, okay, if you have the audacity to do that, I don't want to work for you anyway.
Right.
So,
Like before
see ya.
they rescinded the offer before you started.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so crappy.
Yeah, horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. And because they had somebody else that was more qualified, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you already told me I had the job.
That's going to be another topic we're going to talk about. Just the whole recruitment and interviewing process. That will be something we can talk about next time because, interviewing people. I just went through a whole time of trying to interview people to hire them for a job. So doing it from that point of view and understanding, like when I was looking for work, just watching those two things, you cannot offer somebody a job and then take it back. What is wrong with? What did they make a mistake with your name or something?
Yeah, I was so shocked. But then, then I looked at it again. Like, if you have the audacity, that's how you run things. I don't want to work for you anyway. But then I was thinking about as far as management. If the only time a manager talks to me is to say something negative, I think you suck.
Mm-hmm. You think? I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Been there, done that, going through it now.
Well, because it's about power for them. It's not really about management, right? And what I notice is a lot of people who are in management positions tend to not be people who actually know how to manage. It tends to be a supervisor or a boss who wants to give someone some kudos or a title. Like, just because you're a great graphic designer, I'm sorry, and you were great doing the last project does not make you someone able to now manage a team of 25 people. That's nothing against graphic designers. It's just the world that I used to be in, and it's like that also is something that drives me insane. If you want to give kudos to someone, you can just say motherfucking thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you. You did a great job. And then give them a bonus,
Yeah, give them money.
Titles and jobs they can't do. What did you say, Andre? I'm sorry.
Just give them money. Don't subject other people to them.
Okay, but people don't give money because they don't got it. So they end up doing that. They end up giving them, we really believe in you.
They got it.
Huh?
I said they have it.
You know what I'm telling you, maybe your people, I know why people do this because they don't have money and they think that's a way to placate somebody who's been working hard and does a good job. And actually it ends up screwing people over on the back end. It ends up screwing over your company. I mean, 9 times out of 10, the reason why I'm brought into a company is because the manager sucks. And the manager sucks because they don't know how to manage.
Yeah.
And when you ask what their background is, and it's like, I played chess. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Most of the problems I see at companies are because the managers don't know how to manage. That's the bottom line.
That's it.
The vast majority. And they've never been taught, right? They've never, there's no training that companies generally will do for that. They're just, like you said, you're good at this, so now manage the people who do that thing that you're good at, and you don't get to do that anymore.
Right. Okay, now to fun lifestyle questions. Romance. It's a weird pivot. Now we're going to talk about Julio and Lucia. Here in the next section.
Okay.
Oh, Andrea, you missed the kind of funnyism. I don't even know how to explain it. Quickly, I'll say that Rick posted on his Facebook page a question about a problem he was having, and he wasn't naming whoever his friends were. And so when he was like talking about the whole situation, I turned around and I was like, it was too confusing because there were no names in the story. So I named them Julio and Lucia. So it became kind of an inside joke. All right.
And it spurned a hashtag, Julio was a hoe, because that was what you said.
Julio is a hoe. That's what we decided. Yeah. Julio is messing with Lucia, and Lucia is in love with Julio, but Julio's a dog. That's it. He's messing with the love. Okay, so with that said, can you share the most romantic moment you ever had and why it was romantic? Okay, I'll start. So I'll share mine. So I dated this guy in college and I was in Vermont, and I don't have a lot of now I do, but back then I had never really been somebody who was like canoeing and mountain climbing or whatever. It just wasn't really my thing. Now it is, but it wasn't back then. And he took me kayaking, and we went to this island, this really small island where nobody was at. And it was so romantic and beautiful. And we just talked the whole time we were there. Yeah, we didn't, but we had a lot of fun. It was a very romantic situation. So that was mine, and that's why it was romantic. And no one's ever topped that. It's very unique, very cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's next? Who's next?
I sent
No
you
silence.
guys these questions a week ago.
I don't
think
have
for
a
me it
moment,
was-
but I have a
Oh, go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead.
Like I said, it's not a moment, but one of the more, I guess I wouldn't call it traditionally romantic, but years ago I was with this guy and he made me a comic book for my birthday. And it was like a real comic book. It was probably like 20 pages long, and he drew.
Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me. For people who don't know, Andrea is one of my best friends. Do I know who this is?
You know,
Text me later because I didn't hear this story. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
mean, I don't, it's not. Anyway, so he made a comic book, right? And it had a whole story, and he drew all the pictures, and it had like, Andrea-isms, things that I say in it, and like pieces of anecdotes that I had told him over the years. It was so thoughtful and witty and funny as hell, and it was just so meaningful in that way, and so I still have it. I thought it was such a lovely thing to do.
That is very cool, but I first need to know who it is and I need to see it.
No and no.
Yeah, okay. We're going to talk later, girl.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Did I say best friend? Andrea is one of my acquaintances that I hired her years ago. You see how quickly I just changed that? We done. We done, girl. I'm gonna let Helen go last. Go ahead, Rick.
I think the way I proposed to my ex-wife, so she loved Yanni. I don't know if anybody knows who Yanni is, but he does like new agey kind of music. Like loved Yanni, and kind of like a birthday present. But her birthday was like 2 or 3 days after that. We went to a concert of his, and she was like, "Oh my God, can't we? We're actually going to see Yanni." Da, 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 da. And she didn't. She thought I was going to propose on her birthday, but no. I was doing it at the Yanni concert. So I literally waited for the most romantic sounding song. I was like, "Okay, this is it." And I got on my knee, and I got the ring out, and then the lady behind me goes, "Oh my God, this is proposing!" It was so funny.
That's like
And
out of
then
a movie script.
Yeah. And then she was so shocked, not expecting it, because she really thought I was going to wait till her birthday. But I was like, no, we're doing it right here. And so, yeah, that's mine, I guess.
Romantic.
Can I just say that I had no idea that Rick was such a big mushball?
Oh. Wow. Okay, Helen.
So what was the question? Sorry to be an idiot, but was that like, did you say romantic moment or did you say romantic date? What did you say? What was the
Romantic moment?
Okay, so similar to Andrea's then, I think a standout moment for me with my ex-husband was he had gone away and bought a CD of the greatest hits of a musician that I'm a really big fan of that wasn't really his thing, without me knowing,
Okay.
and then started quoting lyrics
Oh.
from one of the songs. And I was like, okay, this person's taken an interest in something that, do you know what I mean? Like that meant something because they'd taken an interest in the thing I was interested in. And of course, music's my thing, right? So that was do you know what I mean? I'm not a particularly romantic, mushy type person, but that was okay, this is
I don't find that surprising at all. Like
I say that, but I'm a Gemini. I'm both.
Oh my God, you and Andrea, the music and the Gemini thing, like she goes to every concert, like you both should. Now you know each other, connect, because she needs a new best friend now too. So
I'll send you pictures of my comic book later.
Hey, I'm the comic book geek. I want to see it too.
Everybody except Carmen's getting to see it.
Well, it's been nice having this conversation with my former friends. We'll be moving on now to a single show again.
It was nice knowing you.
He's gonna hide me on the screen.
No, that's pretty cool. Rick, people were asking. Oh, Melanie asked if there was an update on Julio and Lucia. Why do I think they're all in on the joke? Like you guys all know who everybody is, I guess.
I don't think so.
Hmm. No,
Oh, okay. All
no,
right. I love comic. Yeah, that the
me too.
comic book thing is cool. What's the dumbest thing someone has ever done on a date with you? Or what's the craziest date you've ever had? Okay, I'll tell you. I don't know if it was a dumb thing. I ended up walking away from this date or whatever. It was like the second date we were on, and it was this guy I had met. I really liked him. We had talked for a long time, whatever, and we were at a really expensive restaurant. And and I was really liking him. He was very good looking, educated, blah, blah, blah. And Andrea, I think I told well, I probably didn't tell you this. So, and if I did, I'm going to deny that I did. But he ended up saying to me that he wanted me to take his credit card so that I could buy whatever clothes I wanted. like, so I think he thought I was going to be like, oh my God, thank you. So he was going to get me an American Express card so that I could go shopping because clearly my clothing or whatever embarrassed him or shocked him or
Wow.
whatever. But I was like insulted and I just got up from the restaurant. I still will not go into that restaurant to this day. It's in Beverly Hills because it's just like I remember feeling like complete crap. And this was before before I met like Arlene and was really kind of in the mode of you know what I mean, the whole designer world, whatever. And
Right.
I will never forget that to feel so humiliated and then to have to like get up and find a way to find that center in you, get up and walk away. You know what I mean? Like cool and brave and like fuck you, you know, excuse my language. And I walked out and you know, like I didn't have my car. That I remember. I had to take like a cab or something, but I walked and I remember crying my eyes out because it was so embarrassing and yeah. I think that's why I also have an issue with people who have money. Not people, but like dating men with lots of money. Cause I really am always in this place like, yeah, you don't know who I am. So don't throw your money at me because it's not going to impress me at all. You know?
Yeah.
Another issue dating men with money is there's always that thing in the back of your mind of them thinking, are you with them because they've got money? Like there's that kind of, do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I've been there as well, and it's like I couldn't give two shits, but you know, it's because they're so used to people flocking to them for that, they just make the assumption, or there's always that concern that they might be thinking that. You know what I mean? I avoid that.
Yeah, but they also like I mean, like on the one and this isn't all rich men, so don't send me no email. I don't want to whatever. But you know, I mean, I tend to work for a lot of wealthy people and I'm around a lot of wealthy people. And part of the problem is that's what they think their confidence should come from. Like they have this weird confidence that is not real because it's based on their profitability or their last, you know what I mean, their last quarterly profit margin and it's a weird thing without the money who are you
There you go.
who
Yep.
are you without that money you know and I remember one time I'm not going to say the company but a lot of people will know what the company is but I worked for this company we had a young guy who owned the company he was really cool he was very nice all he wanted me to do was to make sure he could buy a Porsche. He was like 24, 25 at the time. And I think I was like 30 at the time. And it was a company that blew up. And he was like, I really have to buy a Porsche. I have to buy a Porsche. And I was like, all right, we'll put money aside. The company blew up and it did well. He bought the Porsche and was driving around the Porsche. And then he realized that while he was driving around the Porsche, the women that were coming after him were thinking he was like some old guy who was rich. Real quick, within 2 months, he got rid of the Porsche. 2
Wow.
months, he got rid of the Porsche because he realized what it was attracting.
Yep. True. Very true.
Okay, next. There cannot be no dead space. I have to go in and edit when there's dead space. Let's go. Just kidding. Like, all right. I'll get. Did all of you answer that question?
What was the question again?
Answer that question. I'll tell you a story. I don't think I ever told you this one either, Carmen. It's not that
Of
bad.
course not, because we're not friends. We're not friends. Go ahead.
Several years ago, I went on a date with this guy, and it was like pretty obvious from the beginning. Like I think it was like a first date, and somewhere I think we were at some restaurant bar that had like some sports on the like on a screen somewhere, and he went into this whole rant about people who really like sports are missing, they're trying to feel a hole in their lives and they lack spirituality, and it was like a whole rant about how their personalities are deficient and everything. And so I kind of let him go on this rant that he had clearly been building for, probably years. And, I like a little witty repartee, you know what I mean? I like to go a little back and forth. I like to rib people, and I am a little bit of an asshole. So I said to him after he was done, I was like, well, do you just feel that way because you are always picked last?
Oh.
Wow.
But it was like I said it in like a kind of a ribbing way,
Mhm.
and it was like the like check please moment, you know what I mean? Like he didn't get up from the table, but like you could see his face.
It was done.
And I was like,
it was done.
Well, he clearly didn't have a sense of humor, so that's
yeah, no sense of humor. Like I like
Mhm.
people who can laugh at themselves. I'll laugh at myself. He just could not do it, and he was just so like
Deflated.
in my face on this rant, and I was like, oh,
So you were right.
So I was the one who did the jerk thing, but whatever.
Kevin just said, I just excused myself to the bathroom and climb out the window. The only time I walked away without telling anyone was when the guy I was dating, and I'm saying dating for like a year or whatever. We had gone to a barbecue. All the guys had gotten there first. They were all in the, Andrea, you know this story. They were all in the kitchen preparing the meat or whatever guys do. I was the only girl there. We were there early, and I was sitting in the living room, and they kind of forgot I was there. And they started talking, and they're talking about they were on a cruise. They were talking about a girl that he was with. They were just going on, and it clicked on me that he had lied to me about a weekend where he said he was with his father fishing in Minnesota, but actually he had gone on a cruise. They didn't even know that they were just in that space where men go, that they say only women go, but clearly men do their little bonchinchera conversation too. And I remember I was wearing all white. I remember that because I don't ever wear all white, and I was wearing all white, and I took my sweater with me and I walked out the door. But that's about as close as I ever got to. I just excused myself to the bathroom and climb out the window. And of course, when they noticed I left, then they came running after me. But I'm talking a lot about my crying, but I, walked like really proud or whatever, got to my car because we had met there with separate cars, and I, left like no big deal. And again, pulled over and like cried for like whatever, 3 hours. But then didn't talk to him for 9 years. Until COVID, when he reached out to see how I was doing.
But I can definitely confirm when it's just men, they don't talk the same as if there's mixed company at all.
I think women are the same, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so. Look at Helen's like, no. I can see Helen talks the same no matter who's around. I could totally believe that. Is there something that you regret you did on a date that was the end of that being a romantic possibility? Like, did you date somebody and do something that you regret? Okay, you're all thinking. All right, we'll move on.
Ladies, no.
What?
I said, ladies, go ahead.
Well,
I don't have no stories in this. I ain't gonna be helpful at all because I've only been with one woman, only dated one woman, and I ain't been with nobody since. So I'm gonna be very boring.
We gotta set you up with somebody because that one woman.
I said the same thing.
What is that about, Rick? Like the thing that scares me about you is you're so proud of it. Like,
no,
I've only dated one woman. I've only been with one woman. Like,
no, it's not proud. It's just a fact.
What's going on with Lucia?
That's a whole nother topic.
That's I'll fill you in later. That's
Yeah, we need a whole show for them exclusively, okay?
um,
It's messy.
yeah, Tony, women and men have separate conversations the same way. It's true. Okay, but Rick, let's get back to you and trying to set you up. I know you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to be set up, but is there a perfect woman out there? And please don't tell me who was it last week you said Linda Carter, but when she was younger or something.
Oh
So
gosh.
weird. And then we were saying, like, should she be in her Wonder Woman outfit?
That's up to her. Hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
maybe once in a while, right?
Lasso
Okay,
me and all that shit.
seriously, why can't we find
I'm
somebody
just
for you?
thinking River Song. In my head, I've got River Song. He
Oh,
likes
because we're
he likes the big curly hair. He like
Doctor Who. We're talking about Doctor Who stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I
his
can help
type.
you with
River Song.
that. Okay.
Alex
I don't think
Kinsey.
Rick wants to date anybody.
Next question.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, this one's gonna stink too, but for Rick, what would be the perfect date in your mind? It's a cliche question, but I'm curious.
Right, since everybody's so quiet, I'll go first to that.
Thank you.
I don't think there is such a thing. For me, it's a case of doing something where you can talk to each other. So if it's
Okay,
just
fair.
grabbing a cup of coffee and walking through the park, it really doesn't matter. Like I don't care as long as there's an opportunity for conversation. That's the only way you get to know someone, right?
Right.
I've never understood going to the cinema on a first date. Like you
Yes.
don't get a chance to sit and talk to the person.
Oh, I
So
totally get it. Hey,
for me,
Michael, Mr. Bathurst, how are you?
Hey, Michael.
coffee and a chin wag, pretty
What's
much
a
like
chin
what we're
wag?
doing here. Chat, chin wag. You
Chin
wag your
wag?
chin.
Okay. For those of us who don't know where Helen is from, we're still trying to figure it out. I didn't know what a chin wag was. Rick, perfect date? Do you agree?
I think something cool would be like if you both wanted to do something that you've never done before that you both were excited about and you got to do it together. That could be a million
Yeah.
things, but I think that would be kind of fun.
I'm totally okay with the movie. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I don't think it needs to be a first date, but even if it was, it tells me a lot about a guy on what movie he picks. And
Mm.
also, you're with somebody basically in a dark area. You're watching something, so like you show a lot about who you're. Like if you go and talk to me every 5 seconds, we're probably not going to connect if we're
Do you know what
watching
I thought
a
you were going to
movie.
say, Carmen?
What?
I thought you were going to say, movie's fine because you're all action and no talk. You're not fussy about the talk. You're only interested in the action.
No, no.
The talking
No, but
doesn't
then
matter.
afterwards you have something to talk about with the movie. Like you can really like I have no problem going to a movie on a date. I think that I'm not saying it's a perfect date, but I'm not against it.
Date's fine. I just think not for a first date.
I'm sorry, did I say first date? No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah,
When I said
no, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, no, I'm okay with the movie thing, but I hear you. I think the first date, especially nowadays, and I will not do online dating anymore. I did that back in the day. I'm done. I'm over it. But that you have to do a coffee or you have to go to a restaurant or something because you got to be out in public. People crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah. All right. Well, we're almost done. I have some other questions for you. These ones are the rapid fire questions, but they're not going to be that rapid. You just have to answer it and then tell me why.
they're not going to be that rapid at this pace. We're all like,
You guys are boring. You're not fun. You're never coming on again. I'm sorry. Well, like, here's what I just realized though. I thought sending you the questions would be helpful. But what I realize is it's not. You're all waiting. You're like, so I'm not sending out questions anymore. Like I realize now it's better to just be like boom, boom, boom. It's all right though. We working on it. We working on it. I'm gonna edit all your shits out and I'm gonna put the good so it don't matter.
I think we're just trying to be polite and not overtalk each other. I think
No,
that's what
no,
it
no,
is.
no. You don't have to right. We don't want to over talk each other, but I'm missing rhythm.
Mm.
I think there is an element of that as well, though. The more people that there are, the harder it is to know if it's all right to chime in. Obviously, nobody. It's the same as saying hello or goodbye in the comments or whatever. Like nobody wants to say hi because we don't want to interrupt the people that are talking. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you can. I mean, I feel bad, but we can say hi to people in the. Who is civic stage manager?
That's Brenda.
Hi.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Brenda? Yeah. So the reason why I was not saying anything to people in the chat, like again, this is a new. I've had a podcast for about a year, and I've been doing it, and I realize I haven't been promoting myself at all, whatever. And so I'm trying to do better. But now that we're doing live streaming, it's a little bit of a different structure. What I noticed last time, and the reason why I didn't even edit it is we're all, me and Rick were talking, and then each one of us, we're talking to the chat. If you're listening to that, you're not like, who is the person that you were just talking to? You know what I mean? And me editing that out was problematic, so I just left it all in.
I think it's really important if you're live streaming that you acknowledge your audience. Otherwise, there's no point in live streaming it. We as well recording this on a Zoom call and keeping it for your podcast.
Yeah.
If you're going to live stream to an audience, you have to
Don't
acknowledge
have to
the
be on
audience.
the live stream chatting. I'm not trying to be mean, but I can't every 5 seconds be like, hi.
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously there were people saying hello, and it was just that, just Rick saying it's finding that moment where you can interject to acknowledge.
You guys can interject. I'm sorry if you guys thought you couldn't interject.
No.
You just say hi to anybody. Look at
being with Rick.
I am mean. I'm mean. I'm a horrible person. No, who's Antoine Richardson?
Hello,
Hi, Antoine. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. All right. These are the quick questions. They're not really that quick, actually. Okay. So why hasn't anyone said hi? I just did.
Must be sarcastic.
Always one.
Always one. Look, I think people who want to do what they want to do on their live stream should have their own live stream. Holla. You know what I mean? We're working through this, we're trying to I'm trying to figure this out. I want everyone's patience. I'm excited to do it. I'm trying to acknowledge everyone, but this is not HAPS. Let me be very clear. This is not HAPS, and it will never be HAPS. So I'm just throwing that out there for anyone who needs to hear it. Okay, quick question. Rick, I'm going to start with you. Angela Bassett or Jamie Lee Curtis?
Angela Bassett.
Andrea?
Same question?
Yeah. Angela Bassett or
Angela Bassett.
Really? Okay.
All day, every day, for anything.
Helen?
Both. Can we not have both? Can I be
not at the Oscars, you can't. One won, one did not. Yeah. It's Angela Bassett every day. I mean, that's my answer too. But I was happy for Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know that Jamie Lee Curtis deserved the Oscar for that performance. But I understand why they gave it to her. But yeah, I'm Angela Bassett. So, okay, this one's harder. Oh, look at Kevin, Jamie Lee Curtis, another friend. Let me just write that down. That is no longer a friend. Let me write that down. No, it's okay. Okay. Will Smith or Chris Rock?
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Rick.
Believe it or not, I'm going to go with Will Smith, even though I'm upset what he did, but I'm still going to go Will Smith.
Okay. Andrea? Will Smith or Chris Rock? You can explain why. You don't have to whatever.
Chris Rock, because I like a comedian. There you go.
Okay. Helen?
I'm conflicted. These are hard. These are hard questions. What he did wasn't okay, so I'll say Chris Rock.
Well, wait, what did you take the first part?
What Will Smith did wasn't okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. You know what? I was up until I watched the Netflix Chris Rock's, show on Netflix, I was Chris Rock 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched, and he had every right to do what he did. He had absolutely every right to do what he did. Clearly he was hurt, whatever. But I'm kind of like both of them. It just made me sad. I would pick neither of them at this point because I'm just sad that these two talented, beautiful, brilliant men are in the thick of it. So, and still can't move through it. But yeah, I had to bring it up because I just thought it was, okay. So if I say hot chocolate, what would you want with it? Or what would you put towards if I said hot chocolate and Rick, go ahead.
I actually don't like hot chocolate. Don't hate me, but I don't like hot chocolate.
Like, that's not. I said hot chocolate and
Vanilla ice cream. I don't know.
Andrea, this is what Rick does every time.
It's over for us, Rick. I'm sorry. I can't
It's
deal with
over.
someone who doesn't like hot chocolate.
Like, see, Andrea had you right there. You don't like hot chocolate. Andrea, what's the right answer? Hot chocolate and
Like a nice little butter cookie of some kind.
wrong answer, but okay, I can see it. Not wrong answer. Helen, hot
You said
chocolate.
hot chocolate. Immediately, what came to my mind was, "So you win again, you win again. Here I stand again, the loser."
She's
I don't know
still
what
got
this
the
is. Who
musical.
is that? Who is that?
Hot chocolate.
Oh, it's a band.
Oh, God,
Awesome. That's a good answer. Yeah. I was thinking hot chocolate and Bailey's. Like that's how I like my
Oh,
yeah. Ooh, nice.
Come on.
With some
Hot
squishy
chocolate.
cream on top.
I don't like chocolate with my alcohol. That's a no for me.
Okay.
Bailey's hardly counts as alcohol.
I know.
It's minimal.
No, it's like Bailey. You can drink Bailey's by itself with a little ice. You know what I mean? That's not like, yeah. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do you guys have anything you'd like to share or talk about?
And we're at the 1 hour mark. So hey.
We are at the 1 hour
Almost
mark. Rick, I'm gonna put your website up again, rickcosta.com. But if you go to rickcosta.com, it's not just about your show. It's about all your stuffage and all your
it's
swag and everything
all
else.
different stuff, all kinds of different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Helen, can you talk a little bit more about your what is the jury thing I saw? I saw a couple times you were on live streaming while I'm at work. But
So
what is that about?
So once a month. Okay, so what happens is I've got a radio show. People submit their music and they want it to be played on the radio show, but I can't play everything.
Right.
So we've decided to do a thing called Jukebox Jury, where we have a panel like this and we open the inbox and we listen to some of the submissions. We listen without checking it first. It's, we're going in blind without knowing what we're getting.
Okay.
And everybody on the panel, we listen, we give our opinions on it, and then we decide whether it's a hit or whether it's a miss. Whether it's...
I love that.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
No, that's cool, but I would be devastated if I was a miss. Yeah.
There have been a few misses.
Yeah. Do you listen to them prior to the inbox?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I open it blind without knowing. That's part of the fun. There's no point in me knowing what's coming, right?
Right.
Raw, fresh and raw. You have no idea what's about to happen.
Oh, Rick, you're on the show too?
I was on the last one. Yeah.
He was on the last one.
That is so cool. Can anyone be on the show? Like, will you invite me to be a hitter?
You have to like music. That's the prerequisite.
Yeah,
if you're a music lover.
You know what? You really got me there. I hate music.
So bad.
But Andrea loves music. She'll go to your website.
Yeah, like I say, it's once a month, so it's usually like a Friday, and it's the time. It's getting the timing right, because obviously I've got a time difference, so it's usually kind of 11:30 in the evening my time. It's getting late my time, so it's like, that's why you're saying it's at work your time, because there's such a huge...
No, I was laughing. I was like I got the notification note. I was like, I can't go on.
We've got to bear in mind, it's like you're talking after 1 a.m. by the time I'm finished that, right? So it's hard to go later, but
so people, you can go visit Helen at helenwallace.co.uk. It's on the bottom there. And also, what is your, I don't want to mess it up, what is leggy, what is it, your
bio.link/radio leggy.
It's Radio Leggy.
Radio Leggy, yeah.
Radio Leggy. It's right there in the whatever that's called, ticker. And then Andrea, although my ex-friend Andrea works at whatever company and does whatever she does, whatever. Oh, I can't find her link. Woe is me. No.
I'm just here as a passenger.
She's suddenly not going to be able to find the comic book either all of a sudden.
Right. Andrea works for, you're the CEO, aren't you, of the Genesis?
Yeah, that's what they tell me. Anyway.
And the head consultant or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, hit her up on her socials, which she does not have, but go to the website. And I
Now I'm looking up on my socials.
she has no socials. So it's the Genesis Group and it's spelled a little weird. Wait, what's the reason for the spelling you told me once?
You're putting me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you told me
Okay,
once. I forgot.
like Genesis, like new and systems, so new systems.
Oh, okay. That's why you did it, right. Genesis
Well, I
is
didn't do
new
it,
and
but
systems.
yes,
Right.
but
Yeah,
our
yeah.
founder did it.
So check her out too if you want to, but she's not my friend. So I don't know why you would want to. If you want to be with somebody who's a loyal, good friend, you could check me out at carmenlisette.com or aatjoy.com or allaboutthejoy.com. Visit, add all of us on your YouTube and all that good stuff. And next week, we're going to have a guest. And I think I'm just going to do one on one. I might have Rick on as well, but I do have a cool guest that wants to come on next week. And so we'll see how it goes. And we'll keep developing this as we go along. And I'll do better with trying to figure out my video thing and also in the chats. So thank you for your patience and your support. You guys are amazing. And I'm so glad you guys have been here. So thank you. Guys want to say bye? Because I'm going to stop the stream. Bye, everyone. Have a great one.
Bye,
Nice to meet
ta-ta.
you. Bye, everyone in the
See
chat.
you guys. See you.